Now we looked at sexual behavior frequency and fertile menstrual cycle lengths. We're starting to get into much greater detail of how sex affects fertility, which affects aging, and then we're going to get to how we learned about pheromones, what made it obvious. Okay, here is coital frequency and cycle length. You've seen that before. In this study we had, in 1983, 14 research assistants followed 120 students to get the data for 120 students. This first one is just showing you the overall pattern. And we see the same pattern in 1983 that you saw in 1979 and 1975. The next slide. This shows that self-stimulation is not effective as an associate of the cycle length. We had another year, it's another replication, it didn't work. The next figure, that's actually table 1 is going to show you the basal body temperature graph, if we can get to, there it is. Okay, this is to me the best thing to look at for what this was showing about temperature. Weakly active women, there's 3 kinds of symbols, and each symbol is one person's data. It's her pattern. A plus is a fertile pattern. She ovulates and she has an adequately long luteal phase to permit a pregnancy. All the weakly active women had different cycle lengths, but all of the ones that are with the pluses are completely fertile, and the one with the lopped off right part of the plus, that's a luteal phase defect. So one of the weakly active women had a luteal phase defect. The sporadic women shows different cycle lengths, because this is cycle length, and that barred side is that 29.5 plus 3-day cycle length. And you can see the huge quantity of luteal phase defects in sporadically active women, and very few failure to ovulate. The very shortest cycle, the very longest cycle and the very shortest cycle of the sporadic, you see that minus? That person didn't even ovulate, and neither did that one. And the nevers similarly showed a lot of luteal phase defects. And what this was saying is that almost all weakly active women have fertile cycles, as measured by basal body temperature graph. And about half of sporadic and nevers have infertile. Feast and famine behavior does not associate with fertility. It actually is shown here to associate with mostly luteal phase defects. Deficient progesterone levels is what it turns out that they have.